All right, let's see. Let me come back over. Steve, some are took a quick break. All right, not yet. There, some members had to take a quick break. All right. Okay, everyone. Um, Thank you for your patience. So we're up to B presentation. So this is just for the board. So as you can see, we have three as far as one policy presentation. We have three policies that we will be approving at our next meeting. Are there any questions on these three? Okay. Dr. Chase, we're up for your superintendent's report.
Okay. Greetings once again to our community. I apologize for giving you this report at 11:30 at night. It's not the most ideal time, but I just want to thank you for a fantastic opening of school. Of course, every school district has opened and there are so many uncertainties, but I must say the parents have been wonderful and have been a beautiful partnership to our school district. I want to commend the administrators. I especially want to commend teachers. Now more than any other time, our teachers are being asked to engage in practices in which they've never been trained, in which they've never done before, and they are in the midst of executing this brilliantly. So I cannot thank them more. Many of our teachers are teaching students live as well as addressing the needs of students who are at home. That's an unusual task of our teachers, but they're doing it and they're doing it well. And so we want to thank them. I do ask the community to continue to be patient with our schools, be patient with me, be patient with all that we're doing and trying to get our schools ready. Again, I'm going to reiterate, we are definitely navigating through uncharted territory. So your patience is definitely appreciated. And speaking of partnership with our community, I do ask our families to please, please, please register with Easy Screen. Easy Screen helps the district to monitor the students as they come in. It has proven useful to us on about 5 or 6 different occasions to determine whether or not students should be in the building or not. It's helpful. Easy Screen allows us to determine if students or staff should be in the building, helps us to make an informed decision about sending individuals home, calling families, so forth and so on. If you have not done so already, you are encouraged to please download the app. Please fill in your child's information. We are allowing high school students to do their own. Part of the process requires you to take your child's temperature. So taking the temperature is important. And yes, their temperature will be taken upon entry into school, but we definitely need that extra layer. There's also a declaration that was sent to families that was not submitted by many families. We ask families for your partnership and your support. We all have to be hyper vigilant at this time. We cannot be lax. And yes, Greenburgh Central School District has phenomenal protocols. I'm hearing that from people from other districts who are watching what we're doing. And I must say, we're doing an amazing job on so many different fronts. But it doesn't mean that we are going to be lax in our procedures and processes. So we need you to sign that declaration. I'm going to resend that out. I'm going to also resend the Easy Screen to you all, and you're going to continue to get the Easy Screen messages at 6:30 in the morning. It's important that we do it. I do want to talk a little bit about some calendar changes. I believe one parent asked about a calendar change earlier. I do want to just make sure that everyone understands that although tomorrow was listed as a PLC early dismissal, it will be a full day for staff and students. We are not dismissing 2 hours early. I also want to share with families that you did get a notification from us indicating that Tuesday, November 3rd, will be a full remote uh, instruction for everyone, regardless of the cohort, regardless if you opt into hybrid or not. It is a full remote learning for everyone, November 3rd. The last part of this particular segment of my message. Yesterday, families received notification from me about opting into hybrid instruction. I ask that you please read the letter carefully. Don't hesitate to respond to my email, as some of you have already. If you need clarifying, if you have any clarifying questions, I'm happy to answer them. It is important that you reach out to the building administrator listed if you are R.J. Bailey. Ms. Rossi is that administrator. If you are from Woodlands Middle High School, please reach out to Dan Brady, indicating that you wish for your child to be in the hybrid instruction as of the second marking period beginning November 10th. Or is it November 9th? November 9th. Okay, beginning November 9th. It is important that you let us know before October 28th. Why not November 3rd? Why not November 7th? Well, we have to give us time to first cohort this child to make sure that we have the, the room to provide the proper routing, and so that we're not crowding our buses. So there are some things in which we need to analyze before cohorting the student. You have until October 28th to respond. Today you received a letter from me, and I know that I believe one of the board members asked about that. You know, our district in, I believe, February, earlier this year, did the lead testing, the water lead testing. And of course, those results are on our website. And obviously, we are in good standing as it relates to the presence of lead in our water. Typically, when a building is not in use or it's been inactive for a period of time, there is a possibility of bacteria forming in the water. And so if that happens, you have to flush, all of the water sources so that it is prepared to receive people in the event that they are intaking and ingesting water. Well, we did all of that. But what we also did was we wanted to make sure that what we did was effective enough. So earlier in October, we asked EnviroScience to conduct a Legionella water testing for all of our schools, for all of our facilities. And they did just that. And when they take the water samples, it takes about 14 days in order to get them back. And while most of our water supply systems tested negative for Legionella, what we learned this afternoon, today, that there was a detectable concentration of Legionella found at R.J. Bailey Elementary School in the boiler room hot water tank, also at Woodlands Middle High School kitchen water, and the sports locker room sink. We had a conversation with EnviroScience earlier in terms of whether we should close school. Is this something that we should sound the alarm? Is it similar to what we may have heard in other school districts in the region? And the answer to that question is no. And while the levels are low, we want to get it to zero. And so what we have done so far is we've made those areas, the sink areas, inaccessible so that there's no one who could actually use that area, even though it's not used for human consumption. It might be used for washing. We still wanted to make sure that it's not being used. Tonight, we had our facilities team flush the water, follow the guidelines that EnviroScience gave us. EnviroScience will be back as of 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to retest those areas. They believe that the remediation procedures that we took this evening will rectify the issue, but we just want to make double sure. Once the samples are taken, it'll take about 14 days in which to receive the results from those samples. And I will share that with the community as soon as that is made available. So the last portion of my presentation this evening. As you all are aware, our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mary O'Neill, will be departing our district next Friday. She'll be starting her new journey in a neighboring school district. And, Mary, I don't think she's on any longer. I think she may have left, but she will hear about this. And I hope that she'll take an opportunity to play this back at a future time, because I want her to know how I personally feel. And I'm sure my sentiments are echoed by some in the community and in our district. Mary, I want to thank you for the 5 years of exemplary service to the Greenburgh Central School District and its community. Most people don't realize the importance of your position in our school district, but I do. You have ensured our fiscal health, our fiscal stability for 5 years. In fact, our ratings under Moody's standards have increased because of you. With the support, our leadership, with the support of our community, your leadership has offered our annual budget to have passed each year at the highest margins this district has ever seen. And it's apparent that people trust your leadership, Mary, and your expertise to be a steward of their taxpayer dollars. You have done that well. It is apparent that your assignment at Greenburgh Central School District is up, and you have been granted a new assignment. And it is my hope that this new district will embrace you and will understand the treasure that they have inherited in your leadership and expertise. I want to thank you for all that you've contributed to the Greenburgh Central School District. I want to thank you personally, Mary, for all that you have done for me. With your partnership, I personally believe that you have made me a better leader, and I thank you for it. I wish you well in your new endeavor, and I know that we will stay in touch. And I also have a feeling that our paths will meet as we continue to provide educational excellence to children near and far. And you know exactly what I mean. You are going to be an amazing asset to your new school district, and you will be missed by many of us here at the Greenburgh Central School District. Congratulations, and we wish you well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I have for this evening. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Chase, and thank you, Mary, for your service to this district. So Mary is not here, so we'll go past the assistant superintendent business report unless Dr. Chase, you were going to say something from there.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is Miss Moore, did Mary leave you with anything?
I do. I have, if you'd like for me to report.
Absolutely. And welcome for your first report. Congratulations.
Okay. To Dr. Chase, Dr. Reynolds, President Darden Cintron, and all the trustees and the community, I'm going to give you a combined report of the Treasurer's Report for June, July, and August. Our beginning balance as of June 30th, 2020 was $33,446,359.79. Less cash receipts combinedly of June, July, and August, which consist of disbursements of payroll and accounts payable, plus cash receipts, of $2,809,835.55, less payroll and accounts payable of $15,456,255.41, giving us an ending balance as of August 31st, 2020 of $20,799,939.93. And that's our checking account of $10,863,169.13, plus our money market account of $9,936,770.80. Any questions on that?
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to indicate, however, if you were concerned about the payroll, the disbursements being a little high, in June we have a multi payroll for the 10-month, 12-month employees, so it's a little bit higher during that period of time.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
You are welcome.
Okay, so now we are going to go to our approvals. Okay, I thought I heard something, I'm sorry. Okay, so Section C, instructional personnel items. Is there a motion to approve the instructional personnel items presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Terry?
Discussion, please. I have a question. Sorry about this. I'm going back and toggling between agendas. Darn it, where is it here? Bear with me 1 second, people. Where's my board docs tab? Here it is. Folks, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So, Antoinette, if you could just
There's 4 things there. At the after school Wilson reading.
translate, substitute. Okay, great. So, thank you.
Okay.
No questions.
No questions?
Nope.
Okay. So let me do it again. Is there, we had a second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any extensions? The motion carries. Okay, section D, non-instructional personnel items. Is there a motion to approve the non-instructional personnel items presented to the board for approval this evening with the exception of item D5, which shall be voted upon separately?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion on it? No, all those in favor?
Aye.
I mean,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Ivy, we're polling now. I mean, we're doing a roll call of that one.
No, not that one.
Not that one? Okay. All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. Any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay, is there a motion to approve non-instructional personnel item D5 presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Second.
There's a second, okay. Ivy, please take the roll call vote.
Okay, on the roll call vote for non-instructional personnel item D5, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Dr. Dragic,
No.
Ms. Mears,
No.
Mr. Pineda,
No.
Ms. Carey, Ms. Carey, you're muted.
No.
Ms. Darden Cintron.
No.
Yes.
Okay, motion did not carry.
Okay. Next, we have an additional non-instructional personnel item for board
Ms.
consideration.
Darden Cintron, I
sorry.
just have a quick question.
Mm-hmm,
So D5 was the secretary to the superintendent, am I correct?
yes.
Okay, will the board reconvene to tell me what am I supposed to do without a secretary again?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought what we, okay. Because what we, I'm a little confused.
Dr. Chase?
We'll reconvene. Can we reconvene and talk about it and continue on till we finish this, please?
I'm bringing it
That's
up. I'm bringing it up because I am still without a secretary.
I
And
understand that.
Ms. Carey, I'm
That's the
sorry,
word.
I'm speaking to the board president. I apologize, Ms. Carey. But I'm just wondering, are we going to reconvene an executive session to bring a resolution to this personnel
To this
matter?
matter. Yeah, we do.
I just need to know because I can't spend another day without a secretary. So I'm just figuring out, because it was pulled last week and it was denied today. And I'm just wondering, how much longer am I supposed to continue to work without a secretary? And I'm just wondering if we're going to reconvene tonight and re-vote, or maybe there was something that we forgot to discuss, or something that we missed.
Dr. Chase, we can reconvene.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there I forgot what place I was at. We have, we have an additional non-instructional personnel item for board consideration. Whereas the assistant superintendent for business serves as the district's purchasing agent, and whereas the Board of Education accepted the resignation of the current assistant superintendent for business at its October 6, 2020 meeting, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Lori D'Amico to serve as purchasing agent effective November 1st, 2020, to serve until such time as new assistant superintendent for business is appointed. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Ivy, please take a roll call vote.
Okay, on the motion on the floor with respect to the purchasing agent, Ms. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
Yes.
Ms. Mayers,
Yes.
Dr. Drogic,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Darden Cintron.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, item E, board action items. Is there a motion to approve board action items presented to the board for this evening?
So moved.
Excuse me, which item are you talking about?
Section E, board action items.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Section F, finance items. Is there a motion to approve the finance items presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes.
I just had a quick question for Amy about the warrant report. There was a section that didn't add up, and I was wondering why. It's section 234983.
When
You say what page that is?
Yeah, what page is that?
I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. Oh, 2349. Oh gosh. Oh,
That
this
sounds like a check number. I'm not sure when you say section.
234. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It was oh yeah, here it is. Page 3 of 16 at the bottom of the page. So I hope I'm reading this correctly, but it seemed to me like the numbers for that section didn't add up.
Okay, let me take a look at it and then we'll get back to you. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, so let me see.
Page 3. Okay.
Page 3. Well, the sum is on the following page, page 4.
Okay. Let me look at that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll come back while Amy looks at that's in the finance items. We'll go to section G and we'll move forward. And when Amy's ready, we'll come back to that one. Okay, so section G, business items. Is there a motion to approve the business items presented to the board for approval this evening, with the exception of items G1 and G6, which shall be voted separately?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay. Is there a motion to approve business item G1 presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Discussion?
Okay, this,
Right, so I just, there was actually a community member earlier this evening who made the point that this is a rather expensive operation. I'm not against destroying the house, and I understand that this was the lowest bid that we got, but it's still a bid for almost $74,000 to destroy a house. Also, I didn't actually see the actual what do you call it? The scope of work in the contract. But the bigger question I have is, I remember us at one point discussing that it could be, rather than being demolished, it could be burned down by the fire department, that's something that they could do. And I don't know if that's a possibility that we should actually look at, because I remember that the price tag for that was much, much lower. It was like around $20,000. So, I mean, if someone can explain to me that that's not possible, then we can just move on, but.
Tanya, I'm not sure if anyone is here that could
Answer the question?
answer that. Yeah.
I can say indirectly what Mike, what Mike has said to me, but it's hearsay. That if you have a house with a basement and you burn it to the ground, you got a big burnt hole in the ground. That there's more to it than just burning it. Now, maybe have you seen a bid that includes like flattening everything out and making sure that it's safe to walk across the area where there used to be a house?
Well, I don't know how the fire department would do it, but the other, then that goes back to the scope of work, which
You want to see a scope of work?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have my hand up.
Terry?
We
already.
I think, people can, ask whatever questions they like, obviously, but we did evaluate this. We did have the facilities committee talk with Mike Falcone about this. This is the recommendation that Mike Falcone recommended. We did vote already affirmatively to go out to bid. Any information that is needed now is after the fact. We talked about this for quite a bit, and we did evaluate this entirely. Again, I can't, I'm not in a position to, manage anybody else's questions, but the question suggests that we did not take any and all things into consideration. And in my opinion, we did, because we have the votes that said that we did. So, that's all I have to say, is that we have taken everything into consideration that we were supposed to take into consideration, including the information from our expert.
Madam President?
Miss Carey?
Yeah, we may have agreed to have and voted to have the building abolished, but we didn't have a figure. We did not have a figure, and that's what I said when we were talking about it, that we should have some sort of an idea how much it's going to cost. I would not have thought it was going to cost $73,790. That's a lot of money to have something abolished. So I'm very concerned about that too. I wasn't going to speak on it, but I was concerned about it. And now that someone did speak on it, I think it is very, very evident that this is a whole bunch of money to knock down a house. Unless there's other things going on that we don't know about.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Carey. We still have the motion on the table, so we're gonna have Ivy roll call for a vote, and we'll go from there. Ms. Carey?
Why me first? I was first last time.
No. I thought you were saying something else. I thought you were saying something else about it. Okay.
No,
all right.
Finished.
Ivy, please take the roll call.
Okay, on the motion B1 that's currently on the floor, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Dr. Dragic,
No.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Mayers,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
Yes.
Ms. Carey,
No.
Ms. Darden Cintron,
Yes.
motion is carried.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Is there a motion to approve business item G6 presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion, please.
Yes.
Thank you. So we are one of a handful of districts in the United States with an IB program in grades K through 12. We have a Mandarin program that starts instructing our students as early as kindergarten and has been something that other school districts have inquired about. We're the only school district in Westchester County that participates in the Scripps Spelling Bee. Can't even read my own handwriting. Our district has been recognized for the quality of its social media and outreach to parents by the New York State School Board Association, the governing body of school boards in New York State. Our graduation rates and test scores are above our peer districts, and by peer districts I mean those with similar demographics, and they continue to be on an upward trend. All of these things characterize what's going on, excuse me, in Greenburgh Central School District. And all of them are attributable to Dr. Chase's leadership.
Carrie.
That's all I have to say.
I know, but you know that
I didn't do anything. I listed our qualifications.
Stop doing that. So that's all I'm saying.
I listed my qualifications.
Carrie, I'm just saying it respectfully. You know what I'm talking about.
And I'm saying to you respectfully.
I don't want to argue.
What I'm going to say to you respectfully, Antoinette, is the First Amendment allows me to say certain things, and I did not violate anything. Carrie, and I will continue, with all due respect to you, I will continue to speak my mind in a way that does not violate anything. And I didn't violate anything.
You did, but that's how you are. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about violations under new business.
With that said, Ivy, please take a roll.
David has his hand up.
I'm sorry, David.
You already know what I'm going to say. While I have nothing against the selected superintendent search firm, I'm sure they'll do a fine job. This is not a good time to seek new leadership. We're dealing with a change brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. At a time like this, stability is important. For this reason, I'm going to vote no.
So can we continue
Ivy,
to vote?
Can you please take the roll call vote? Ivy, where did she go?
On the motion, G6, currently before the board, Ms. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
Yes.
Ms. Mayers,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
No.
Dr. Drogic,
Yes.
Mr. Warner,
No.
Ms. Darden Cintron.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, the next one up is, okay, section H, pupil personnel services items. Is there a motion to approve the pupil personnel services items presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay, I think, Amy, were you able to find?
I apologize. I'm unable to pull it up, but if you tell me what it is, I probably can, because I'm not able to pull up this page 3 of 16. I'm not sure, but can you just tell me what exactly, maybe read it to me?
Well, it has a whole number of items for maintenance at Woodlands Middle High School ventilation, and it as I'm reading the checks, it should add up to, I don't know, like around $10,000, and then it says it adds up to $4,464. So it's 980, 230, 1260. Then it has 4 checks for 1680 and 1 check for 2016. And then it says check total 4,464.
Are you looking at a check warrant? I apologize. Is that what?
Amy, I think she's looking at page number 4 in the PDF. And
Right.
it's titled to item number 234893. It says Crown AC Heat and Power Corp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's physically it's page 4 in the PDF, even though it's labeled 3 of 16.
Right. I was trying to find. I wasn't able to pull that up. Let me look. I did see that. Give me a second. Crown. Okay. 1 second. You can come back to me.
Oh yes, yes. Crown AC Heat and Power. Yeah.
I ran. 1 second. One second. I'm actually just looking at the different warrants, so just bear with me.
Oh, it's okay.
I think I know the answer, but it looks like the next total you see, Tanya, is actually for something totally different. It says tree work. So
Hold on a
I
second.
think the total's missing for the Crown AC.
Oh.
I don't
That's my
even
theory,
see it.
but Ms. Moore will confirm that.
Yeah, I don't even. I apologize. I have my warrants here, but I do not see it. I do apologize.
Right, but that doesn't add up either. The tree work should then just be 2016, which is just the tree work.
Yeah, but you see, it says 3 of 16, and then it goes to page 5 of 16. I think we're missing a page.
Hold on, 3 of 16.
Gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh right, yeah. Oh, there is
The
actually
same thing happens from 116 to 316. It's the backs. It's the backs of the pages, probably.
Oh, okay. I see it here. On the back here. No, but that's not Crown.
7, 9. It's all odd numbered pages.
Yeah, we're missing the evens. That's what happened.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
But we're not missing the evens on the other
on the other one.
warrants, just this one.
Yeah, okay, I do apologize. I'm not sure how. Would you like me to get the rest of that other page? I could do that.
Well, that's fine. I don't know if we can go ahead. I mean, I don't know what it means to approve it without having it complete. If it should
Right.
go for the,
So table it to the next work session, and we'll get the full warrant
Yeah.
report
Right.
added in, and then we'll be good.
Yes, okay. We will get that for you.
All right, so Ivy, you,
Okay, sorry about that.
no problem. I gotta get back to the screen. Ivy, so we are going to table that.
So that's 8.
Okay, Terry?
Didn't we already vote on that?
No,
No.
we had pulled it to the, we pulled it to the
Okay.
side at the beginning because the question came up earlier and she still needed to find it, so we didn't get
Okay.
a chance to do that.
All right. Okay.
All right, so we are
Yeah.
going,
Antoinette Ivy has a question.
Ivy.
For the board action items, I'm
F2.
sorry, not the board action, for the finance items, you do have a current motion on the floor. It was made by Dr. Dragic, seconded by Ms. Carey. And then you just moved on to give Ms. Ashley more time to look for the
For the
answer.
second, for number 2. All right, give me
It was for the finance section.
hold on.
So if you want to amend that motion to table on
Yeah, go ahead.
F2 to the next meeting, and then you can vote on the treasurer's report F1.
Yeah, because they were both.
I move that we table F2 until the next meeting.
Yeah.
I second that
Okay,
motion.
I'm assuming there's no discussion. All those-
Discussion.
There is. Okay, I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Ivy, are we allowed to do that like that? Because I thought we had a motion already on, I thought we had a motion already on the table, and even though we held it while Ashley looked for the information, don't we have to somehow dispose of that motion first before we do what David and Tanya suggested? And I see Dr. Reynolds has his hand up as well. Sorry,
Thank you very
Antoinette.
much. I'm studying parliamentary procedure, so as a point of parliamentary procedure, the person who made the motion has to rescind their motion. Then a motion to remove the item can be made. Once that carries, then a motion to vote on the entire slate can take place.
That works too.
All right, so Ivy, who made the motion?
Dr. Dragic.
Okay, so I move. So I have to move. So I move to rescind the motion on section F.
Withdraw.
Withdraw. I'm sorry, he used the word rescind. I was just copying him. I withdraw the motion on item F.
Okay. Is there a second? We need a second for that? No. Okay.
So now the new motion needs to be made to remove the item from the section.
David?
I move that we adopt item F1 in the finance section.
No, that you to table it, I thought.
Table what? It was withdrawn.
No, she.
Oh, yeah, no, I withdrew the entire motion.
Yes, you did.
The motion's gone.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
I move that we adopt item F1 in the finance section.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Wait,
I
sorry.
abstain.
Ms. Carey
abstain.
abstains. Okay. All right, the motion still carries. Okay. Now,
Do we need to table item F2 or are we good?
It needs to be, a motion needs to be made to
we
table it
need
to
to
the next
table
meeting.
it.
I move we table item F2. Oh, wait, Ivy's saying something?
You already made that motion. It was kind of out of order, but
Yes.
Dave, Mr. Warren, you had already made that motion to table F2, and Dr.
Sure.
Drogic seconded. So
Great.
that's already on the floor.
Yes. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Hey,
Okay. The motion carries. All right. Now we're down to closing items, board self-evaluation.
Antoinette, I
know
have my
this is
hand
a
up.
closing item.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you have to go first. Go ahead. It was
I was
about
gonna-
this.
I was gonna say, I know it's a closing item. It is 12:11. I'd like to see if we can address this at a future meeting.
I agree. I was going to suggest that as well. And I think it's probably better suited for a work session in any event.
Okay, anybody have issue with that?
No.
All right. So if this is in closing items, Ivy, do we have to table that too, or?
You just did. There's nothing that you're voting on.
All right, great. So this all. All right. What in the world? New business.
I have
I see Terry. I see Tanya.
two quick things. First of all, first thing I'd like to say is also to thank Mary for her service. I wish she was still here so that I could tell her personally. I suppose I'll drop her a note, but I just want to say for those who are still listening, out in cyberspace, that Mary was, and I've been here quite a while, and Mary was the best assistant superintendent for business that we've had. Her knowledge of state regs, was admirable, and we're going to miss her. The second thing that I would like to bring up is, Antoinette, I understand that a board, I guess the best way to put it, newsletter went out to parents, but the board never got a copy of it ahead of time. And certainly the only way I found out about it was when some of our residents who received it sent back questions, and then you shared the questions that they had on the newsletter with us. It's late now, so I don't want to belabor the point, but in addition to the board not being consulted on this, and I would just note that you actually consulted us on other things that you did as it relates to either personnel or even to some of the issues we were dealing with, environmental issues that we were dealing with. So I was curious and disappointed not to have been brought in on this one as a board, since it was so far reaching. But two issues that I would bring up. The first issue is a lot of the information in that newsletter was already information that had been put out by Dr. Chase in her correspondences, and it actually infringed upon administrative information. That's not to say that as a board, we don't have information that can be shared with the public or needs to be shared with the public, but there certainly doesn't need to be a repetition of what the superintendent has already done. And certainly something that infringes on administrative. But the other thing that I'd like to say is this, or the question that I have, and this question is either for Ivy or Amy. I'm just curious about, since the board was not made aware of this, and since I didn't know we were doing newsletters, I'd like to know what resources, and by resources I mean what financial resources, what creative resources were used to do this, number one, and the financial resources that were expended to create the newsletter. And I would like that information in our packet on Friday. Oh, and also, I know we have a budget for the correspondences that come out of the superintendent's office. I don't have the budget obviously in front of me. If either Ivy or Amy could provide for Friday's packet, how much did we allocate for newsletter production, and what were the deliverables that we were expecting from that vendor?
Ivy?
Okay.
I'm sorry, the only thing that I can comment on is that for the production, there's a cost associated with the printing vendor, but to my knowledge, there was no print newsletter.
Sure, I get that, but there may have been design. I'm curious as to, since we were not informed of this, I'm curious. Well, first of all, I'm curious, and again, we can have this conversation at the work session, but I felt the need to bring it up tonight. But right, if there's not physical printing, there's possibly design, there's copy editing, there's work that's usually done. Obviously I know a little bit about this business, so I just want to know what expenses were incurred in producing this.
I was not involved in it.
Right. No, and I wasn't implying that. I'm sorry, Ivy. I wasn't implying that. I was just, I was just making that request through you, since obviously you handle I was making a request through the president, but ultimately through you, because you are the one who compiles the packet. And Amy, I'm making it through you because of you in your role. And I may be even making it through Dr. Reynolds, because certainly I know Dr. Valenti used to review, and I'm assuming you do the same thing. You would review or sign off. Dr. Valenti used to sign off on something financial. It's escaping me now. It's late, but so I'm asking everybody, I guess, and maybe even including Dr. Chase. So, there you have it.
Thank you, David.
From my perspective, more communication is better. So I'm happy that that information is being put out there. I've been receiving a lot of emails, so I don't remember getting a copy. So I'd like you to make sure that I want it on the distribution list. So that's where I'm on that. I mean, I've done enough. I had enough experience with the CEC where I found out that you need to communicate things more than once, and so that's all to the good. Regarding Dr. Mary O'Neill, yes, really great assistant superintendent for business. We're really sad to lose her.
Tanya.
I'm going to be very quick. David, you mentioned that we were going to have a Finance and Facilities Committee meeting on October 28th at 5 p.m. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did I miss an email? Or
no, Mike Falcone finally was at this meeting, and just as the meeting started, I asked Mike, that's what we've been waiting for. Mike, when are you available? And he came back with that date. So I haven't sent an email out because I didn't find out till this meeting was started.
Okay, so I just want to ask Amy, you are going to be at that meeting, yes? And I'm sorry, Mary is not here, but I just wanted to remind you to please have she said that you would present 3 formats for budget transfers for us to look at. So yeah, all right, great, thank you. That was it.
Okay.
All right, so just real quick, in regards to the board newsletter, there's a lot of things that that are posted, and And pretty much what there was a suggestion of having a board newsletter. And I'm pretty sure that everybody would like to have a board newsletter. And obviously, in my overzealousness of excited about putting out something from the board, because the fact that I answered an email sort of made me think that I probably felt that I've already sent it, but I didn't. And my apologies to the board for not sending that in advance. I will say that I will definitely be mindful, and I do hope that all of us as board members are responsible. Whereas I, without a doubt, sent out a newsletter that is representative of information from our district that the board, I think the board feels would be important and good information to share. I would also extend that same thought about board members who may send things out that they shouldn't send out on their own, let alone a board newsletter. Is there any other business items?
I have one.
All right.
So I just wanted to raise, we've been talking internally, the governance committee members, and trying to schedule a date. We have established one. It is our first governance committee meeting for the year for this year, academic year, will be Tuesday, the 27th at 6:30 p.m. if I'm looking at my calendar right here. We'll be sending out, that's technically a board committee meeting. So, I might, check in here with Terry and Tracy. Is that something that we would send out a public meeting link for, or is that something we handle internal?
We would tell Ivy, and Ivy would handle that.
Okay, perfect. So Ivy, I will be sending you an email with the date and time, but it will be Tuesday, the 27th at 6:30.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Dr. Chase.
So that my office can function effectively in the middle of a pandemic, I'm asking if the board is going to go back into executive session to discuss my secretarial position. I can no longer wait. I've been without a secretary since August.
Dr. Chase, yes, I said it earlier that we would definitely do so.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Thank you.
Okay, hearing no further new business, I'm going to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn to go into a second executive session to discuss, let me see, hold on, to discuss particular personnel. Hold on for a second. Hold on. All right, motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons being considered for board action this evening.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. We're going back into executive session. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Steve, for your patience.
Are we in? Are we in exec session?
No.
Not yet.
Hold on, Ivy. Ivy, did you want to say something before I take you out?
No, just that I need to be in the waiting room.
Okay. Dr. Chase, do you think you will need Dr. Reynolds to stay for this?
If he chooses, it would be nice. I hate that it's 12:30 and we're still here.
Yes, me too.
No. Amy needs to go to sleep and be ready for tomorrow.
All right, Amy,
Good night.
thank you. Good night.
Corey can handle it.
Okay.
Okay, good night. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Laser, I'm putting you back in. Let's see. Laser, when I click on yours, I don't see the option to put you in the waiting room. Yes, it's gone.
Let me see if I can add myself. Hold on.
That's so weird.
All right, I guess I'll just
It
leave.
says that I could do, it says withdraw co-host permission. Maybe if I take that off, do you think like putting
Oh,
you in
you
the
made me a
waiting room?
co-host. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take it away.
All right, so let me see that. Now let me see. Yes, okay, that was
Okay.
it. All right, thank you, Laser. Steve, I'm going to you next. Okay, you're in the waiting All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.